You know what they say. Keep it balanced. Keep it cute. But baby, my balance, it comes from above. So step light. Hold your head high. We gon' praise and still look fly. Weighing every season, heart on one side, truth on the other. Grace in my walk, glory in my cover. Step to the left, I'm aligned. Peace in my heart, made of mine. Wrist shining, Bible in my bag. Gold on my neck, Savior in my sweat. Born with the scales in my head. Still I lay it all in His plan. Measured by mercy, not fame. He called my star by my name. I'm a Libra in the light, standing tall in my faith. Pretty smile, holy style. I got heaven on my face. When I move, when I glide, it's the grace in my stride. Balanced by the blood, that's my scales and my pride. That's my scales and my pride. Hands up high, heels on beat, praise in the club, praise in the street. Halo over this laid out lace, a little gloss, whole lot of grace. They see the charm, but He sees the core. He opened doors I ain't asking for, so I two-step, testify, slide every turn. He by my side, I'm a Libra in the light, standing tall in my faith. Pretty smile, holy style. I got heaven on my face. When I move, when I glide, it's the grace in my stride. Balanced by the blood, that's my scales and my pride. That's my scales and my pride. Whoa, left, right, spin it, back. Stay true if you love the Lord, let Him shine. Heart in the clouds, feet on the floor. We give Him the praise, then we give Him some more. I'm a Libra in the light, standing tall in my faith. Pretty smile, holy style. I got heaven on my face. When I move, when I glide, it's the grace in my stride. Balanced by the blood, that's my scales and my pride. That's my scales and my pride.
Yes, good morning. Hey, Tabay Love. Hey. Okay, y'all, this is your girl, Creole Butterfly, Libra Butterfly, Coco 929, coming to you from the great state of Kentucky, where the women are beautiful, the horses are fast. The horses are beautiful, the women are fast. It just really depends on what you like. I want to say happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy quinceañera, happy bar mitzvah to Lottie Dottie and everybody under the sound of my voice. And you know I'm the Oprah, the what? The smooches. So come here. You ready? Mwah. You get a smooch. You get a smooch. Everybody gets a darn blasted smooch. Okay. All right. So I do have somewhere to be today. I have to be there at 10 o'clock, which is in Louisville. I don't live in Louisville. I live in a little city outside of Louisville. It's too hard. It's too long to break it down. But anyway, I have to leave out of here about 9:15. So that means I'm gonna have to get ready by 8 something. So let's get into it. Okay. Now y'all know that the Christian religion actually celebrates this weekend as being Easter. Okay, Easter, right? And supposedly that is connected to what? Christ. Okay, Him getting crucified, rising from the dead, all the things of the things, okay? And I'm not trying to take away that if you whatever, okay? But we are going to get an understanding because during this time also, there is a lot of people who are helping kids dye eggs and the Easter bunny, howdy Easter bunny, and all the little chocolate things and stuff like that. Now, if you still subscribe to that, that's fine, but at least you'll have some foundation on what all that comes from, okay? So let's get into it real quick, okay? Easter is mentioned in the Bible only once, and it's not a mass translation. It's actually called Pascha, Pascha. Okay, Pascha. Okay, which means Passover. So it doesn't say Easter; it says Pascha. Okay, Pascha appears about 30 times, between 29 and 30 times in the New Testament. All right. Um, and the word passed over is in reference to the night when the Lord, okay, passed over the Israelites and killed all the firstborn of Egypt. Do y'all remember seeing it in the Ten Commandments? You know how they put the blood over the door so that the death angel would pass them by, because Pharaoh spoke out of his mouth the last curse. He said, kill all the firstborn. And when he spoke that out of his mouth, that's what it was. So let it be written, so let it be done. That's exactly how they used to seal stuff back then. So let it be written, so let it be done. Okay. Let me see. And that you can find in Exodus 12 and 11, 12 and 12. Okay. Um, which set Israel free from 400 years of bondage, depression, and all the things. Okay. Now, if you look a little closer, it lets you know who we are. But I ain't gonna get into that because y'all get mad at me when I try to tell y'all who y'all are. Okay. 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 So I do believe Acts in the 12th chapter, that's where it starts talking about Esther. Okay. And I'm gonna get into who she is. Celebration because of the Feast of Unleavened Bread that follows Jewish Passover. Okay. When it had already occurred. So trying to take my time, but I'm on a time limit and I wanted to get this in. Okay, I really wanted to get this in to help my people, and I will probably be back later, me and JB. Okay, so let me go here. You know, people worship the sun, right? Like every day of the week, there is a meaning for every day of the week. Okay. So let me read this. Then said he unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. And he brought me into the inner courts of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men with their backs turned the temple of the Lord and their faces toward the east, and they worship the sun toward the east. Okay, so we have sun worship. Okay, sunrise services are the most worship service it is during the Easter time. Okay. And what that is early around 6 o'clock in the morning when the sun rises on Easter Sunday, is when most churches have a service and that honors sunrise. Okay. But it's really a pagan tradition that is carried out in many churches. Okay. The rising sun gathering during the solace was worship, okay, of the sun god rising from the underworld. But it has nothing to do with Christ's resurrection. Nothing. Okay. It's amazing how many things that we worship that was passed down to us from years and generations and generations and generations that has nothing to do with Christ. Nothing. Okay. Um, a lot of this stuff is paganism. Okay. It comes from the Babylon system. And it was, oh, I should have did this later because it's so much to get into. I'm trying to do this condensed version. Okay, so just bear with me. If y'all remember Nimrod, okay, Nimrod was the one who decided that he wanted to build a tower up to heaven. Okay. And actually, they probably could have done it because of what the scripture says. And they were on their way, okay, building the temple up to, I mean, the tower up to heaven. Okay. And God Himself said that He was going to trouble their speech. That's how we have diverses of tongues. And once upon a time, everybody spoke the same language. Okay? Everybody. And people ask me, how did we get all these different languages? Once upon a time, everybody spoke the same language. You can go look it up for yourself. You can go to the Tower of Babel, okay? With Nimrod them, everybody was on one language. God troubled their language. That's the biblical word for it. He touched their language. And so they couldn't understand each other no more. All right. Somebody went to say something and it came out Chinese. Somebody else went to say something and it came out English. Somebody else went to say something and it came out Mexican. Somebody else went to say, you see where I'm going with this? And so they couldn't understand each other. So each person got with the person they understood, and that started their own language, their own thing. Okay. So now you understand that part, right? I'm skipping a whole lot. Okay. So do you remember the Bible says that after Christ was crucified, they was all in one room. Okay. All in one room, all on upstairs part of the one room, okay, and they all came back together. It means everybody of their own, a representation of their own came back, and they all was in one room on one accord. Okay. Remember, Mary Magdalene is the one who went back because she had an encounter with Jesus. Come on now, come on, breaking it all down for y'all real quick. If you got anything you need me to explain, email me and I'll come back and do a more thorough situation. Uh, but Mary Magdalene is the one who had an encounter with Jesus at the tomb. Remember, he asked her, "Who do you look for? What's wrong?" And she wanted to know where they took her Jesus, okay, and everything. So when she realized and listened and saw that was Jesus, and he said, "Tell my brothers," she went back to where the men were being held up because they were scared, because there was a warrant out for anybody who was seen with Jesus. Okay. So they were scared. So they all was like, you know, and so she went back to tell them, I've seen him. I've seen him. He has risen. So my thing is, when I always hear about people talking about women ain't supposed to minister, all you doing is giving the news of Jesus is alive, Jesus is risen. So, it bothers me when I hear that, but we ain't gonna get all off into that because I want to stay focused. I'm on the time limit. Because Jesus could have revealed himself to the gardeners. He could have revealed himself to the soldiers that was keeping the tomb to make sure nobody got into that. But he waited to show himself to a woman, and a woman with a past at that. Mary Magdalene was just as dirty as they came before she met Jesus. She was a hoe. Let's get it straight, okay? And she was a good one. Do you hear me? Okay. So, I just don't understand it. Whatever. So anyway, moving forward. Ishtar. Let me tell y'all about Ishtar because that's where we get Ishtar. Okay. Ishtar, they turned the name. And Ishtar is a deity. Do you know what a deity is? Okay, you don't know what a deity is. You got to look it up. Hey, well, the things. I hear you. You tell ya. Hey, Linda Dorsey Boo. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, y'all. I'm trying to do this real quick because I got to head to another city for a conference. I think it's what a conference, breakfast conference, something. Anyway, okay, let's go here real quick. Okay. Holy Thursday marks the end of Lent. Okay, most people they observe Lent, okay, in the remembrance of the Last Supper. However, okay, it's usually followed by a fish fry. Now, I came on here once before and I did a live and broke down what the Pope's hat mean. That's why y'all see my screenshot with the hat because this is Easter and it's all connected, okay? I couldn't, for some reason, they wouldn't let me be great and put Ishtar up there because I wanted to put Ishtar up there and I downloaded the pictures and everything, but it would not let me put Ishtar up there. I don't know why, but hey, okay. So anyway, we're gonna go with what we got. Anywho, any chew. All right. Let me see. Friday was named after Freya. the fish moon goddess. Okay, so you see a lot of Catholics that eat fish on what? Friday. Even in school, do y'all remember in school, you already knew what Friday was going to be. Friday was going to be Fish Friday. They give us those little square fish on that bun with some tartar sauce, some fries, our salad, and your milk. Okay, every Friday, like clockwork, you would get fish, unless you went to a another school that didn't. I don't know nobody's school who didn't follow that. Okay, what happens is this is a practice that goes all the way back to Dagon. Dagon is a part of the Babylon system. Okay. Dagon was the priest of the fish, and it is a symbol of Christianity. Okay. Let's go. Okay. So I told y'all that part. Let's get to Ishtar. Okay. Estra is an Anglo-Saxon version of Ishtar. Okay. Ashtaroth. I know y'all have heard of that. Ashtoreth. Semiramis, okay? The Semiranian goddess of love and war, okay? Who is supposed to be the goddess, the moon goddess and wife of Baal. Baal. Does that ring a bell? No pun intended. Baal is in the Bible, okay? Baal. And supposedly, Sumerian Estra, Ishtar, same person. See what I'm saying? How things they change names. Um Now, supposedly, according to Cimarron, sorry, um, Ishtar was the wife of Cimmerian god Tammuz. Tammuz, Tammuz. Both of them are spoken in the Bible. Okay, Tammuz is mentioned in Ezekiel, the 8th chapter. And Ishtar is not said Ishtar in the Bible, it's Ashtaroth. Okay, Ashtaroth, the one I spelled first. Let me try to spell it again. Ashtoreth. That's in the Bible as well. Okay, and that's in Judges, I think the first or second chapter. They also talk about it in Jeremiah 44. Okay, you just got to scroll down. All right, so we see that Ishtar was changed to Ashtaroth was changed to Ishtar. They are both one and the same, and it was renamed Easter. Okay, Easter, and so now here's the thing. Oshun. Okay, you'll hear people talk about Oshun. Okay, Oshun is a goddess, a African goddess, and her history is checkered. And just put a pin in that because Oshun is actually connected to this as well. Okay, it just is. It's okay. The tale of the Sumerian, okay, Sumerian. It states when Tammuz died. Okay, remember I told y'all that Ishtar was married to Tammuz. Okay, Ishtar followed him to the underworld, leaving the earth deprived of its fertility. And when the queen of the dead allowed a heavenly messenger to sprinkle them with the water of life. Okay, so when people walk into, and if you're a Catholic, I am not coming for you, boo. I'm just exposing all of this. I love you with the love of the Lord. I'm not coming for you, okay? Just if it don't apply, let it fly. Move on. Well done. Hey, boo. Okay, so what happens? They sprinkle you with water. They take this little thing and they start sprinkling you with water. And where did I say that come from? She and Tammuz were rescued from death when the queen of the dead allowed a heavenly, okay, small h, messenger to sprinkle them with the water of life. Supposedly, this allowed them to return to the light of the sun for 6 months each year. Okay? Supposedly. I'm just showing y'all how everything is connected, okay? Easter was originally created as a celebration of the events. It's supposed to be, it's like worshiping of the goddess of fertility and the power of the sun, okay? Easter is said to have derived from Ishtar, which I just told y'all that, right? Okay. Constantine, do y'all remember him? Y'all remember Constantine? Okay. Constantine merged winter sorceress and the celebration of Esther and Christian celebration of Christ's resurrection all together, but it was all for political reasons. What else was for political reasons that I taught y'all the other day? Changing the calendar. Remember, we all was on the moon calendar. That's how the moon followed the birth of Jesus Christ. Okay, and I told y'all that the Ethiopians still follows the calendar from Jesus's birth. They never change. And I told you all that the Catholics, the Vatican, and everything, the Roman Catholics, that they changed the calendar so that people could remember when their taxes was due. So they changed it. So like right now, Ethiopia has the year being 217 and we're in 226. You got to go back and look at that because I broke all that down and everything. But I said that to say, I'm showing y'all again how Roman Catholics are the leaders of them, changed a whole lot of things and merged a whole lot of things together. Okay. But they had a reason. It had nothing to do with spirituality. It had nothing to do with Christ. It had nothing to do with none of that. It was all for religious purposes, political purposes. Not religious purpose. Take my time. Hold on. Political purposes, okay, and financial purposes. That's why everything was changed. Now let's get to the eggs. Okay, chocolate Easter bunnies and eggs, marshmallows in pastel colors, and candy of all sorts have pagan origins. Okay. Um the ancient beliefs is to ingest the gods you worship. So that's why Easter bunnies, eggs, all of that, when you ingest it, is fertility and the worship to her. Because I told y'all Esther and Nestra, same person, is the god of fertility. So eggs is what? Thank you, Easter bunny. Anytime we hear a bunny or whatever, we think about, and I ain't never known a bunny to have an egg, but whatever. Everybody's make sense. Everybody feel like, just something. Even as a kid, I knew that an egg came from a chicken. So why are we talking about bunnies? Never mind. Okay, so moving on, because I get too deep into stuff. I know I do, so I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, it was a fertility and worship to her. So one can lay hold to her strength, vitality, and fertility. Okay. This is why the eggs are boiled and colored to be more pleasing to the eyes and stomach. Now, as I told y'all once before, everything has a purpose. And if you break down, what time is it? Okay. Everything has a purpose. And if you break down different things that has to do with, I can never say this word, but I'm going to attempt to say it again, Catholicism, okay? Meaning Catholic worship, Catholic beliefs. Everything has its purpose, okay? And more to the point, what I want you all to get. If you still gonna dye your eggs, it's up to you, boo. I'm not knocking you for that. Enjoy your life, okay? Just know it has nothing to do with Jesus Christ and his resurrection. Nothing. If you gonna, thank you, Easter Bunny, and all that and stuff, it has nothing to do with Jesus Christ and his resurrection. That's my only thing. I come to dispel, okay, and the myths that has been passed down from generation to generation. It has nothing to do with it. Okay. Like I just showed y'all, Constantine and the people that were surrounding him merged a whole bunch of stuff together for their political reasons. It had nothing to do with Jesus. It had nothing to, and we believe that. And and I understand why. Because, we just know we love us some Jesus, okay? We just know we do. All right? We do. And with good reason we should. Okay? We didn't know what else people try to throw in there. And that when we worship this, it's actually worshiping a deity, something that is far away from what Jesus stood for. See, here's the thing. It's not the fact that when people how can I say this? A lot of things was deities. What is deities? It's like the spirit of the fallen angels. A lot of people are connected to the fallen angels, not following, fallen angels. Okay. There was two sets of fallen angels. People don't talk about that, but it was. And I did a live on that once before and I showed y'all. But let's just go with the one set that everybody talks about, okay? It was 1/3 of God's angels that got kicked out of heaven because they followed Lucifer that tried to overtake heaven. Okay. And they had power. God didn't take their power. He didn't take their power. And that's the misconception that, okay, they got kicked out of heaven, they lost their power. No, they were still considered the sons of God. Okay. He didn't take their power. Remember, if you look up Job, okay, go to first chapter of Job. Job, God is having a conversation with Lucifer, aka Satan, aka the devil. Okay. And he says to him, and I'm paraphrasing, but y'all can look this up. He says to him, where have you been? Satan says, going to and fro on the earth, seeing what I can destroy. And it tells you before that, it gives a precursor to what was being done when God had this conversation with him. It says that the sons of God came to God to present themselves, meaning they came to heaven where God dwells to present themselves. So you mean to tell me that the devil, who had been kicked out of heaven, think about this, at this time, he had been kicked out of heaven, was still able to have access to heaven to come and show himself to God? Know your opponent. Know your opponent. I keep telling people, y'all keep thinking that he's a pitchfork, he's red, and all of this and stuff. No, baby. No, baby. No. Know your opponent. Think about that. Go read Job. If you don't read nothing but Job first and second chapter, okay, especially the first. It's so much jewels in the first chapter. It's like, wait a minute, it's mind blowing. Think about that. God, God asked him, where have you been? But he says before that the sons of God came to present themselves before him. And Satan too. So God still considered him a son of God, which means he didn't take his power. And he told him, going to and fro, meaning trying to see what I can cause, what kind of, what type of stuff I can cause to tear up on this earth. And y'all think, come on now. I just want you to think. If he was able to keep his power, he was able to go and speak to God in heaven and then tell God what he was doing. And wait a minute, here's the kicker. Then God said, well, have you considered my son Job? Your life is bartered at times. When you are really a child of God, God barters your life because he knows the outcome. He knows the beginning to the end. Satan don't. Y'all tell Satan everything. That's why he fights you in your shall be, because you open your mouth and you tell everything. And then some of y'all open your mouth and remove all doubt. Some things don't need to be spoken. Some things need to be prayed through. But some of y'all let the enemy know up front He just Andrea Boo. Some of y'all let the enemy know up front what's going on, and he assembles your imps to fight you and give you warfare. So again, God asked him, "Have you considered?" Now he just told you he was turning up the world. Okay, he was turning up the earth, and your thing to him was, "Have you considered my son Job? Not don't tear up my earth. Not stop messing with my people. Have you considered my son Job?" Like excuse me, I got one for you. My son over there. You can do everything but take his life. Come on now. And that's why I keep telling y'all it's the difference between chosen and called. Called can get away with a lot. Called can get away with anything. They can be called and live a hellish life. They can be called and live a day's worth of dog meat. Okay? But the chosen, God don't play about. And he don't play with. Those of us that's chosen, baby, we get whooped. Honey, you can tell the chosen. Cause sometimes we have enough time to do, and then we back in another situation. Call, it don't surprise me. A lot of people call. A lot of people call it a lot of things. Chosen, much different. And I can show you who chosen. I can look at a chosen person. A called person, anybody can be called. It don't shock me. And the fact that people can, oh, I ain't going there. Creole, stop. Let me sip my coffee real quick. What time is it? Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so anyway, I was just making a point, y'all. Okay, I was making a point that a lot of things that we take in as being the truth is not the truth. It has been distorted. It has been manipulated. It has been changed. Okay, so again, Constantine, the Roman Catholics, they did a lot to change away from the true identity, the true worship of Jesus Christ, of God. Okay. Somebody calling me. Yep. Anyway, they did a lot to that. And so the thing about it is, even when it came to Israel, remember I just talked about Israel, right? I was just seeing if you wanted me to say that. Anyway, y'all. So that's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to bring up. Ishtar, Ashtaroth, Easter. Okay. It's all the same. She's the female deity, female goddess of fertility that they worshiped. Okay, supposedly. But it has nothing to do with Jesus. It has nothing to do with Easter, okay, which is resurrection. Easter, Ishtar, and Ashtaroth is all connected. It has nothing to do with bunnies. It has nothing to do with fertility. It has nothing to do with none of that. Okay. The resurrection was for the sins of the world. For the I can't help it. We got everybody there. I can't help it. I can't help that I do this. I can't help that I do that. Well, that's why Jesus died, for the I can't help it. Okay. He died with you and me in mind. Even when we wasn't even here, we wasn't even the thought in our daddy's nutsack. Not trying to be funny, we wasn't. But Jesus knew. God knew. And he sent him here for the sins of the world because there was nobody that could take the sins away. Nobody. Because there was nobody spotless until he came. Okay. This is what I want y'all to remember. I always tell you at the end, no matter what the test, always do your best. And I say that for a reason. I know it rhymes. I'm kind of a rhymer a little bit, but the reason why I say this is because you don't ever want to have to do a test over if you can help it. Because when you have to do the test over again, it gets harder. So my thing is, I want to come and just tell y'all the truth about things to expose it. Now, what you do with it is you. It's on you. If you still gonna dye your eggs and enjoy them, boo boo. Okay, because I love me a good boiled egg. I ain't lying. I be looking for kids. Y'all got any eggs? Like when I go to church, I'm like, y'all got any eggs? Give me one. Cause honey, I love me some boiled eggs. Don't get it twisted. But know the difference. Know that it has nothing to do with Christ. And don't lie to your kids. Just like Santa Claus. Some of y'all got some explaining to do. Okay, you don't lie to them kids for so long now they grown and they don't figure out ain't no Santa Claus and what Santa Claus really meant, aka Satan. But we ain't getting into that. Spell the name. Mm. Anyway, we ain't getting into that. I'm just saying, stop lying to your kids. Tell your kids the truth about Christ. Tell your kids the truth about Easter. Say, yeah, we're gonna boil these eggs and we're gonna dime and we're gonna enjoy it, but I want y'all to know it has nothing to do with the resurrection of Christ. Okay. We ain't gonna get the two mixed up. See, kids can handle more honesty than adults. Y'all think they can't. They can. But what happens is you lie to them so much that now that you're trying to tell them the truth, they wonder if they can believe anything you said. Like, you lied to me so long about this. What else have you lied to me about? Because some of y'all waiting to the last minute to change it. I remember I changed that. Because, see, okay, I was raised in the projects. I tell y'all that. Projects ain't got no daggone chimney. Now, when they was talking about he going to come down the chimney, I used to look up in the sky in my ceiling in my house like, we ain't got no chimney. And I asked my mama one day, I said, what chimney is he coming down? My mama didn't know how to take me. She just looked at me. I was always a kid. You couldn't just tell me no anything and I fell for it. I'm like it as an adult. I'm worse as an adult. Because I'm like, it don't sound right. It don't sound right. Just like I told y'all the other day that I had, now I'm a pastor, okay? Been one since 2010. Matter of fact, come the 26th, it'll be my pastoral anniversary, okay? God is good. Whatever. I've been a minister since, let me see, hold on. It'll be 27 years this year that I have been a minister, okay? I'm also apostle. Yes, there are modern day apostles. Yes, okay? And I've been a seer all my life. I ain't using that other word because everybody named Mammy use that, so I just say seer. Being a seer all my life. The earliest I remember was 4, okay? So this ain't new to me. This is not new to me. A whole lot of things that I saw, a lot of people don't like when you start to tell them the truth because it interrupts their life. It makes them think, well, dad, did my mama lie to me? Possibly. Mine did. And she loved us some God, but she lied. We visited this since, and like she said, I told you what was told to me. And then when I got older, I realized it was a lie. And I was like, well, I didn't want my daughter to feel like blah, blah, blah. So I just passed it on. So what I did, I stopped the lie. When my kids was like 3 and 4, I'm like, nah, mom and daddy's bad this. We Santa Claus. So my kids grew up, okay, well, that's just a figure that Christmas, he's a representation of what the world say Christmas is. That guy in their red suit, but my mom and daddy's the one, yeah. And it don't take away from their fun. Kids don't care. They just still enjoy Christmas. It's y'all that care. Even my kids told their kids, mom and daddy doing this, baby. You can tell that man, you can go sit on his lap and everything, but your mom and daddy buying this. See what I'm saying? It don't take away from it. You still can do what you're gonna do, but stop lying to these kids. And then y'all want them to listen to y'all when it comes to the world. Y'all want them to listen to y'all when it comes to schooling. And they like, you the same person lied to me for years. Easter, Ishtar, and Ashtaroth is a figmentation of what people worship as a deity, the goddess of fertility. Okay, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to give y'all proof. And that's why I gave y'all some of those scriptures and everything so y'all can go back and read it. That it has nothing to do with the resurrection of Jesus. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Has the world been duped? Yeah. 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 And stay tuned. That's the only thing I can tell y'all. Stay tuned because, like I told y'all, we talk all things scripture. We break down everything that has to do with us that's black. Uh, um, we talk about everything over here, but it all has to do with what affects us. Because I have us in mind when I talk. Okay, because a lot of times we have been duped. we have been duped, y'all, and it's time for us to come out of a fog that we've been in and really understand some things. Okay, so last but not least, I had asked, I was like, it seemed like Black people suffer more than any other nation. Like, people are apt to help anybody else. They'll help Mexicans, they'll help Chinese people. I mean, people will help anybody but us. Anytime you mention us, it's like we are the stain on the street. We are Lord in dirt. We are, like, seriously. And I asked, I said, why is it that we are cursed? Because that's what it is. It's a curse. I said, we as a nationality, we as a blood people, Black people, we cursed. Why? And now, of course, I went all the way back to the blood, but I finally got the answer. And I shared it with y'all last week. But because we're talking about Jesus Christ's resurrection and Him, I'm gonna say it today because this has something to do with it. Okay, you ready? All right. Do you remember? And if you don't, look at uh Jesus Christ Superstar. It's a 4-hour movie, but I love it. Or look at The Passion of the Christ. Okay, that's another one, and it's pretty close. Okay. However, in the Bible, it talks about when the Roman Catholic, okay, he was a Caesar. I think it was. If it wasn't Caesar, I'm gonna call him Caesar just for purposes' sake. Okay. Uh, the priest brought Jesus to him so that he can punish Jesus. Okay, this is after they went and got him when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane and all of this and stuff. They went and got him and all this and stuff and put chains around him. And all. Okay, so they took him to Caesar for him to kill him, basically. And that time of year, he could release one person, and it was Jesus or Barabbas. Okay, and he asked the people, which one would you like to see released? And because of the priest was already walking through telling people to say Barabbas, Barabbas, Barabbas. So everybody started hollering, give us Barabbas, give us Barabbas. And Caesar was like, this man hasn't done anything wrong. And you sure you don't want me to release Jesus? No, Barabbas, Barabbas. So his wife sent a message to him and says, have nothing to do with that man, talking about Jesus. I had a bad dream concerning him. Let him alone. Leave him alone. Don't have anything to do with that. Do not let the blood fall on your hands. And so he went back again and was asking the people this, that, and the other. And they kept saying, give us Barabbas. So he asked the priest about it. And the priest said, and I quote, let whatever curse fall on us and our children's children's children, our bloodline. Whatever's going to happen, with whatever you're going to decide to do with Jesus, let it fall on our bloodline. So Caesar was like, the king was like, so he dipped his hands in water and he wiped them off. He said, the blood is not on my hands. The blood will be on your hands and your descendants and of your bloodline. They didn't care. So we fighting a battle that was way before we even got here. We're under a curse because of the decisions that was made to crucify Jesus. That's why we suffer so much. We had nothing to do with it. But because let it fall on me and my bloodline to my generations. That's us. So that's why you got some of us that have a little bit of success and a little bit this. It's not ever a global thing. It's not never a nationality thing. It's always now. The good news is Jesus is going to gather us back. We will rule. I mean, he said that too, that my people, I'm going to get them and I'm going to fight whoever has messed with them, whoever has, that's why you need to know who you are. That's why Israel, I keep telling you who you are, but you don't want to believe me. Y'all keep believing everybody else. We are Israel. We are the true Jews. Okay? We are. And ask yourself this, why does it make people pissed when you claim to be what you are? Like when they was trying to say that what's his name? He's crazy, but the one with wilding out, Nick Cannon, that he was being what's that? Anti-Semitic, something like that, which means against Jews or whatever. And some of us was like, how can he be against himself? They don't sound right. There's been many things that have proved to you all, especially lately, who you are. And that's why the three countries that was against giving any form of reparation to us had something to lose. Think about this. United States, Israel, and Argentina. If they pay you because of who you really are, that's admitting that somewhere along the line, somebody lied. Somewhere along the line, somebody stole something that wasn't theirs. So no, I can't agree to that because then I might have to give up all my riches because they are old. If you go to Deuteronomy 28, and I think around the 34th, 36th verse, okay, Deuteronomy 28 is long, okay, but if you go to Deuteronomy 28 around 34th, 36th verse, it starts to talk about they're going to be taken away in ships. Nobody will buy them to get them out of their misery. They will be sold and blah, 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 blah. That's us. That's a curse. That's us. When God got us out the last time, which was when Moses, okay, let my people go. When he got us out the last time, we didn't learn our lesson. Okay, anyway, just wanted to tell you all that I gave you a lot to think about this morning. I hope you all enjoy your weekend, enjoy tomorrow. I hope you do go to church tomorrow and, go to a word church. It makes a difference, okay? And everything. Just know that I'm not taking away from what you want to believe in, what you want to celebrate. Do you? I'm just here to tell you the truth about it. That's it. Now that you got the truth, it's up to you to do what you want to do. But at least you know now. See? You know. And so now you can make an informed decision and say, you know what, yeah, we still gonna do this, but I just want y'all to know ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. Ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. We gonna do this because it's just what we do. See, that's different. That's different. Now you standing on truth. You know? So that's all I wanted to do is, a lot of things is being contributed to God, and he had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. And people don't get it. They don't understand. He had nothing to do with that. That was all the Roman Empire, Constantine, and all of them. Them. It had nothing to do with God. It had nothing to do with Jesus' resurrection at all. Just make sure that you give God his appropriate time tomorrow. If you're going to celebrate the resurrection, fine, do that. Just tell God thank you. Because he had you in mind. And people say that, baby, y'all do know the person who helped Jesus with the cross every time he fell and stuff was a black man. You do know that, right? Somebody said, and I heard this, and I thought this was asinine, but somebody said that there is no way that Jesus could have been anything other than white because it's just no way. Now, I'm going to leave you with this. When they told Joseph not to go back because their herald was looking to kill Jesus, to go and sojourn, meaning go somewhere else down in blah, 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 Egypt, okay? And I'll come and let you know when it's safe for you to come back. Now, picture me this. Africa, Egypt, Africa. Okay, see where I'm going with this? If there was a vanilla man and a vanilla child and a vanilla woman that entered into there, don't y'all think word would have got back? Evidently, for them to dwell down there about 2 years or so, they had to look like those that they were dwelled with because they blended in. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, I love you guys. I really do. And, like I said, just remember, honey, don't let nobody pee on you and tell you it's raining. If they can't break it down, now I can tell you my opinion, okay? But I wanted to come on here and actually show y'all, tell y'all proof, give you some type of scripture and everything, not trying to manipulate the scripture because I don't do that. I will never do it. But remember, no matter what,
Kentucky to the world,
always do your best. I love you.
Sitting on the scale, real butterfly, spread on wings, girl. Yeah. Born to shine, leave a balance in her soul. Creole roots deep, got that heart of gold. Butterfly in motion, grace when she fly. Every room she step in, the stars multiply. Dr.Creole, wisdom with the style. That Kentucky vibe, make the world smile. Energy, crown sitting high. Royal Libra season, can't nobody deny. Creole butterfly, Libra queen tonight. Glowing like the moon in that southern light. From Kentucky fields to the city dream. She the vibe, she the balance, she the queen supreme. Smooth with the talk, yeah.